Corey here with another podcast for Gillett Friani. Again, still up in our beautiful Gavini country. Referring to the boat we did today. Thanks for inviting me along, my brother, Nathan Cooper here. Smith, a lot of people know by Smith, a lot of people know me by Nate Tang, Kung Fu Panda, whatever people, like to call me, obviously nice. Nice words. I'll accept it.
No, that's it, right. So,
Bit about your journey, bro. What you grew up?
that's how I grew up in the city suburb in Redstone, Waterloo. As you know yourself, we grew up in the same area, and that's how we know each other. But I'm city sticker, thought it through.
Yeah.
What?
And so, growing up in Waterloo, Redfern, how was it for you?
Taught me a lot. Maybe who I am today.
Yep.
The area taught me a lot of valuable life lessons. And I will always be forever grateful growing up in the area.
Yeah.
Love the area, but if there no more, I got out of there about 3 years ago now.
Yeah.
Just for my own. I'm on a journey at the moment, and that journey is just healing and just processing a lot of past trauma events that's happened in my life
Yep.
as a childhood, and how Waterloo and Redfern helped me become who I am today, and being pass that knowledge down to my younger generation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good, bro. So, growing up, play footy?
Yeah, love footy. As a bit of a gypsy when it comes to the local footy. Alexandria, even in the eastern suburbs, which I do like.
You were a Rooster supporter.
I was a Roosters supporter, that's correct. I was a Roosters supporter.
Always had his Roosters gear on.
I did, yes, rocking up buddy around the area, but my allegiance to South that hadn't come a bit later in life.
Yep.
Being from the area, and then when I finally realised the differences between both areas, I had to represent. It was like,
Yeah. Yeah.
I'd be embarrassed if I was to continue to be a Rooster supporter. I'll never be honest with you.
It's funny, bro, because I was just talking and I said football, and I had this flashback of you walking down Rooster gear.
I was thinking, I realised they do walk down deadly. So I think that's kind of why I went to that side, and I did play some juniors in the suburbs as well.
Interesting thing for you. Next time up in Brisbane on Cast Out Weird and do the podcast with.
I went that side. I idolised them a lot. You're someone that I always wanted to be like when I got older, but I still like to think that I was successful at footy. I'm still running around these days.
Yeah. So it's playing football growing up, and you talk about life lessons. What's some of those?
Yeah, look, I come from a background, as I mentioned, of childhood trauma, and I didn't recently I haven't shied away from two of my journeys.
Yep.
So I'll dive deep, and I will mention that I am a victim of child abuse, child sexual abuse, and also witnessed and protected my own family member from getting out of that situation from a very young age. Me being the youngest of my family. Just a fire way to kind of be more mature than what I was, and get my loved ones out of that area, for that editorial area. So I'm always grateful for growing up in Redfern, Waterloo, because at the time when you hang around with boys and the girls, you don't realise that you're all connected through some type of
trauma in our lives, and that's why we've done what we've done back in the day. A lot of crime, and then do a lot of naughty things. But I was also very fortunate enough to get out of that lifestyle early as well.
Yeah.
By, just, noticing my surroundings, who's unfortunate with us today, or even Jack in jail in the street still living that lifestyle.
Yeah.
It all paved the way for the way in today. I just want to give back now. We currently staying in for community services, but I'm being invited up here from Global Quarry for this forum, and you can just come up here. We worked a lot in the 2 days.
Yes.
Leave it up here. Well,
Behind you there, that from that house to one. But yeah, it's, thanks for coming along and, sharing that. For been along over as a men's council, over all around domestic violence. Thanks for coming along. But what I had the young on the phone was, when I said it to you and spoke to you, you're like, I can't miss this experience. This is, it's who I am now, and it's what I want to be doing. And it's, and also thanks for sharing, a bit of your story there, bro, around the childhood and abuse stuff. It's not easy to talk about. I don't know what counselling or whatever you think you've done with the bro, but one thing I can tell you as a child, it's not your fault. I don't know if anyone's ever said that before. It's not your fault to protect your brothers and sisters. It's not your responsibility to protect yourself as a child. That's the adult's responsibility. It's not yours.
yeah.
So, we live with that guilt when we think we need to protect people, and the guilt of how did that allow that happen to me? Working with men, bro, well, you've got nieces and nephews, little boys at home. When you look at a 5-year-old at home, what are their chances are that they're going to beat you on a fight? Those are going to
Yeah.
And that's the thing. We look back at ourselves as a child, but then we picture ourselves as an adult, and how do I let that happen?
Mm.
At the end of the day, we're still a child.
Yep. 100% agree with you, brother. Yeah.
So yeah, having that trauma, and as you said, a lot of the people we grew up with had some traumas that may have been the same as yours or different variants of trauma, but we bonded over that as well. So that's most of our friendships as kids is maybe up through trauma bonds.
100%, yeah. In particular, right up in the events for the water in there. Like I said, you don't realise it back then, but it was when I was older. I realised, what we did.
Yeah.
It's for a reason. We acted out with our behaviour.
Yeah.
So, love the area we're at.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, from school and stuff, what's a bit of the better you work during this?
From school, well, I didn't complete pretty much anything after year 8.
Yep.
And it went on a bit of a wild journey. And then, as mentioned, I did hit corrective system early in my adulthood. No sentences, but as I entered the system and they did around cells, they got me out to aid, whatever the place to call it. And speed shoot search, didn't stand for came on who I am as a man. It took it brought a lot of trauma back to this for another male to be asking to undress me and do the same. So I said to myself, no, I'm not going back. And then a bit of a journey after them. Wild ride. Lost a matriarch pretty early in my life at age 25. My mother did raise me. So I'm now 36, but so it's quite a while.
Doesn't sound like it.
Yeah. I remember actually a week apart from one Yakes. Yeah. So it's very close and just in my heart, around the same time.
Yeah.
That's my mother's anniversary.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They said, yeah, lost my mother at a young age, and then I said to myself, I'm going to start doing something because I hadn't been working.
Yes.
I had no career. I wasn't career person.
Yep.
And so I decided to get a job and been basically working for the last 10 years of us.
Yeah.
You know, it's for the first time in a bit of my life.
Yeah.
And then I met a beautiful woman. We were going to marry one day. And he taught me a lot in life as well. And then I've got, not biological children, but they're my children. So now I'm a father and play that, that wide role of supporting and loving and nurturing you.
Yeah.
So now I'm a family bear. And live a life happily, but and just want to continue to learn and never want to become too complacent in life, right?
Yeah.
Just want to keep on making small errors and learn from that.
No, and that's all you can do, Brian. I guess, yeah, touched on your what you said that leave us scoring year eight. We had a bit of yarn yesterday as we'll both shaking hitters. So a couple of our runs in the grain into school, and some of the reflections later in life. But the reflection yesterday of the role we played in each other's, the makeup of that. So yeah, then. And that's, that's what accountability is about too, having a hell of each other yesterday. And yeah, but on that, bro, just talking, I remember you were only first and actually married Bill.
Yeah.
It is, because it was a big thing for me, bro, because I guess that stuff happened at school with us, but then I think it was 3 or 4 years later, it was a tie up the block or something, disrespecting your sister. And you wanted to take it too far, and I just said, bro, it's not worth it. And then we kind of mended our bridges, but without speaking about it, as we spoke about yesterday.
Yeah.
But for me, the reason I remember your birthday, bro, it was because it was my brother's anniversary.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
The 19th of October, bro.
Amy?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bugs G.
Yeah.
I remember. Yeah.
And for me, for every year, I just got growing and supplements off. So it was the first time that a couple of boys, you've got to come. But I also knew from the relationship we had as kids that was quite pinnacle that I had to be there as well. Can't say I remember the night much because it's fucking pretty. Actually, I do remember the night. I remember something about the night, and Black Rich will remember this too. Charged up, him and Bados ended up together, the 3 of us. And I went, I'll go get the cab. As for people that don't know the Sydney area, I've got fair skin. I'm a black fella, but I've got fair skin. I get the cab. I get the cab. I knew my role and responsibility. So it took a little bit longer and I afforded to get a cab. When I come back and get Rich and Bados, they were across the road from Brooklyn, but let's let them top of the stairs. I called out, hey. Didn't answer and said, let's go.
That's hilarious.
But I always woke up with no shoes on.
That's hilarious. Yeah. I just want to add to that. If you fellas grew up in Sydney and you were the light skin, yeah, that's right. You knew the role.
Yeah.
All the light skin fellas that put the hitch to ride, and then as soon as you got that door open, all the black skin. You were totally behind the horse that jumping in.
Yeah, and that was like how it was. But yeah, then, again, only a couple of weeks apart was Jason, your mum. I remember that. I was walking past and we had to go GoFundMe page with Jason and you were doing the same thing for your mum. I was walking past my sister's house.
Yeah.
And I remember so I heard someone say, I think the funeral's sorted, but Nate's got nothing to wear. I walked past and I don't know what was in my pocket, but this,
Yeah.
And there was nothing really spoken between us because we both knew we were grieving. I knew you needed something or something I could do.
I've got a lot of memories of you just letting helping me out where you can. You're nice, down with tile. Then, as mentioned, you just in regards to, that time around my mother's, just, I had time, but I always appreciate that. And as you mentioned,
Corey and I in history at school, but we spoke about it yesterday. I'm glad we spoke about it. I don't really go to do that too much. Yeah, answer that because that's through breaks and boasts, and you always showed me love, and you've been an inspiration, Buzz, and you honestly have. I said earlier, I was at the house, you later, Corey, we doing? Don't know what for. Yeah, it's to see you. But
Never asked to become a Maccas regular.
no. But yeah, so, it's
10 years of your life working. What type of work was you doing, bro?
so when I first got into the workplace, got to do the labouring work, warehousing, and then I was got the opportunity to be a gardener at Leica. Leica accounts really taught me a lot of valuable life lessons. Yeah. It was my first full-time employment. Yeah. So that was a huge, milestone.
Yep.
In my life. Was there for 7 years. Wow. Yeah, 7 years it was. It was like, there's 6, 3, 7, 8. Wow. Then finished up pretty full, sorry.
Yeah.
Is it 7 or 6? Because I'm back.
You left school in year 8, so I would not.
But in saying, it's the longest my, working career. I've been consistent working in, found myself.
Yeah.
And then, moved up beautiful Kumbeda country, up to my beautiful, wife to be. Up to her country. He's on up here.
Yeah. Going back to that time in the cattle, bro. I remember you were training the outs down in Toulouse.
Yeah. I blew back out again, Brian. But that was a journey that I'd been on that I lost my mother.
Yes.
I said to myself, got secrecy around the prayers and that bag, the state of mind. I just started running.
Yeah.
We just started running. And then within 12 months, I lost like 60 kilos.
I remember it was a big weight.
I was a walker.
Yeah.
Got down as low as 98. And on the 40, back up in my really gone 50 to the
Yeah.
that's life.
It's a joke. It's like a running joke. I haven't seen it, but when I lost it in my weight, they put it back on. I'll go as weird as it sounds. When I'm heavier, I'm biatch. When you lose the weight, there's so much process on what should I eat, what can't I eat, I've got to do this, I'm not sure I've got to do that. And look, I guess we could define it more of a burden because I guess when you drop weight quickly, there's no real methodology to it other than just sacrifice. So I guess then if there is the next time I lose weight, I'd rather put things in place where it might take me a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But I learn the behavior more than just the result.
Yeah. I'm agreeing with you, Mark.
Because it's,
like I've always been big boned.
I'm using that one.
I've always been, up on base and felt pretty much my whole good life. Like I was never taught how to be healthy.
Yeah.
And then when I got healthy, was uneducated.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to stay healthy.
Yeah.
No,
That's exactly it.
and I just look at it again as all part of my journey.
Yeah.
I'm going to be something. I'm back in the kingdom, blessing up this year for the name like the Roosters. Yes, the Roosters.
Back to that chestnut. It's going on. But yeah, so, you talked about that study and stuff there. So what was the change for you to say, oh, I'm going to do some study?
Yeah, I think moving up to Maggie comes through. I think it just gave me a level of time, that will slow down for me.
Yeah.
And allowed me to pick up roads, whatever you want to my purpose, I suppose.
Yeah.
And
the services that helped me along my journey, get me to where I am staying for. It's now time for me to give back, and yeah, just I love learning. Yeah, each and every single day, and I just want to give back. If I could help out one person, yeah, I'd be happy all the time. I'm letting this road, mate. All right.
Yeah. Well, that leads to the last question, Russ. When it's all said and done, can you offer the dream time? What do you want to be remembered for?
To be what a you respect as a good father. I think that's important. The structure of us men have it's been broken.
Yep.
Nearly say it's good because there are still strong men that hold it down, but there's some broken branches there that exist, and which was a great father.
Yep.
Even a name that is spoken about for future generations. And I'm in the dreaming there, and that's what I hope that happens.
No, sweet.
Doesn't make it want the children.
That's right.
Thanks, brother. See you sliding along.
Nah, all good, Russ.